How you doing, everybody? My name is Michael Zapsik. I'm from AMC's Comic Book Man, and you're listening to iWalter.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
All right. Hey, this is Walter from iWalter. I'm back once again on February 22nd. It's Monday evening at almost 6:30. Now, I wasn't thinking I was going to do a show because I did like a 2-hour one last night. But then I decided to do one. I'm going to turn around. I actually watched this movie. Let me see. I've been moving my mic. I got to get one of those wireless mics. Okay, I just did right off the bat. I've been pretty good with that, actually. I have been catching myself quite a bit. Anyhow, yeah, the PlayStation 4, I was going to actually ask, hey, listen, do I need to do anything about the situation with this hard drive that's only a 5,400 RPM? I never got around to doing it. Like, I wasn't doing anything. I slept in late today, actually, almost till 1 o'clock. So I'm back on that bad schedule again. Because it takes a lot. When I do these podcasts, it really does drain you a bit. So anyway, I ended up watching this movie, and it was called The Return of the Living Dead. It's a 1973 horror movie, so to speak. And it's done by a director from South America. And the movie I was kind of skeptic about. Anyway, I watched it for free, and I have to just throw a plug this way, because this is free too. If you ever heard of, it's on like probably most your consoles and your setups, but it's definitely on the PlayStation 4. I'm looking at it right now because I started it up again. It's called Popcorn Flicks Movie TVs or Movie TV Free. So it's basically an app. Doesn't cost you a dime to put it on if you have, a PlayStation 4. Probably the other stuff has it too, but it's absolutely free. And I watched this movie called called Return of the Evil Dead, and I kind of stumbled upon it a while back because I was looking for information on the movie Evil Dead by Sam Raimi. This is not by Sam Raimi, and it was like I was really surprised because the movie was actually really good. And I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I mean, you're talking an older movie, you're 1973. But some of the premise of this film, in my opinion, kind of remind me of, it must have influenced even John Carpenter, because I felt a little bit of a John Carpenter feel to part of the movie, because it was a movie about this priesthood that was a satanic priesthood or something like that. And they all get killed. And it takes place of a time span 500 years prior to present day time in 1973 at the time. And these priests in, again, South America were all killed for basically being devil worshippers. But how they kill this town killed these people was they burned their eyes out. And you're talking like a low budget film. It's nothing. That was the thing I didn't like. It didn't have a lot of bloodshed. It didn't have any quirky music, because a lot of these movies, especially the ones from the Italian film horror movies, there is way too much gore, and the music is just horrendous. This actually didn't have it. It depended more on sound effects, and the sound effects were actually pretty good. The only thing that was really bad was that I felt that was wrong with the movie was, I'm trying to think right now, because the movie itself actually kept my interest, and it was free to watch it on that Popcorn Flicks. So I'm trying to think. The only thing I really had a problem with, and the women in the movie were like not bad looking. They were pretty hot, some of them. You're talking 1973, so you're not talking present day time, the way women dress or wear their hair or look, but they weren't bad looking at all. And I think his name is Amando D. or Serio or something. Actually, I honestly now I'm kind of curious about his other films, because This one actually was really good. You can buy all, like, I think he's got, it's not even a trilogy. I think there's 6 different, well, let me look, because there was a list of movies that, 1, 2, 3, 4 different movies. So it's a little over a trilogy. They're all related, these movies. So the Return of the Living Dead, I don't know if that was the first one. I don't think it was. I think there was one before that by the looks of it. Actually, maybe, yeah, I think there was like one more before that. I honestly don't know. Okay, it says Tomb of the Blind Dead, Return of the Evil Dead. So it's Return of the Evil Dead is actually the second one. Horror of the Zombies and Night of the Seagulls. But I just watched the second in the list of movies, and I thought it was pretty damn good. I think the thing, again, was just because it depended less on gore. It had some violence, but it really wasn't shown. It was just insinuated, and it was really low budget. And I find that, like, most of these directors, I've watched some other films, I can't remember what, that were from pretty much South America, and there's some really good freaking directors. Like, I haven't watched it yet, but I did watch, because that was another South American movie. I could be wrong, were those movies that got remade in the U.S., and the movie's called Wreck. They were remade, and I forget what the U.S. version of the Wreck was, but I watched the first 2 movies, and those were really good. They actually kind of really scared me, too. And there's, like, I think 4 of them now. So I haven't seen the other 2 because you have to read a lot of subtitles. It might even actually been a Spanish film, more to say, which would be kind of like technically Europe. But I have seen some South American horror films. I kind of personally like them better than the ones from the Italian horror directors. I'm not too big of a fan of that. That's why I was a little leery on Return of the Living Dead, but it was free again. So, but these satanic priests, whatever, they get killed, and first their eyes are burned, and then they're burned alive, and they come back 500 years later to get their vengeance on the town that killed them. It sounds kind of stupid. There are some parts that are a little quirky, because, again, it's very low budget, but it was just the atmosphere was definitely interesting. It was much better than a lot of these horror films I've seen lately. So, and again, I saw the whole box set. You can buy all 4 films, and it's in a casket shaped thing, and it's not that expensive, because I know I saw it. Let me see if I'm just going to pull up Return of the Living Dead and go to Amazon. I know it's not that expensive. By the way, Amazon now is going to start charging shipping for anything under $50, because I've nickel and dime my Prime account to the point now, I guess, me and other people who do that, like, you buy something for $10, you're getting free shipping, and they have to second day deliver it. So it's costing them an arm and a leg. So now they finally got to the point, it's like, listen, hey, they're going to get to a point, anything under $50 you're going to get charged for the shipping cost. So I'm trying to look for it right now. I had it up, and yeah, if I would have rented, it would have cost me like $3 or $10, but I got it for free. I saw it through the commercial stream and things. It's like an hour and a half movie. I'm trying to look for that director's name again, because, again, I thought it was really worth checking out. I'm looking for the box set, because I know I had it marked at one point. I was ready to buy it because it was like, wow, this looks really cool. But it's like, I'll probably never watch these films. After watching Return of the Living Dead, I kind of have to take that back now. Okay, let's see. DVD. Maybe it'd be on the DVD, because they're saying, well, if you like that, you are also like this from this director. That's what I'm trying to look for. Actor, director. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Yeah, it's on sale on Prime. If you're a Prime member, it's like $31.72. So if you still get it, you probably can get it for the free shipping. It's called the Blind Dead Collection. Honestly, I thought it was much better than I expected. I mean, it's gotten rave reviews, and I was like, I don't know if I believe that. This is one of these catch-22 things. So I'm going to add it to my basket now and just kind of see, because now I'm actually interested in seeing these films. I haven't seen anything that's an older film that, like, oh, yeah, I definitely want to get this. Yep, I can get it free second-day delivery by Thursday of this week if I order it now. It's only $31.72 and no tax. I'm definitely tempted to do it. I mean, it's kind of a waste of money, I guess. I just hit buy now because eventually they are going to start charging taxes. I know I just said I actually just got in the mail today. I bought this movie. I just said again, and I can't see because I have my glasses on. It's called I can't remember. I just got it from. Certain movies that even if I don't like them, I just want to collect them. And this was one of them. I actually bought one film I just really never enjoyed that much. I just remember scaring me as a kid, so I had to rebuy it just for the nostalgic reason of, again, being scared as a child. And that didn't come yet. Let me see purchase history on eBay. Let me see what I bought. Those Dr. Dre's, that's what I'm wearing now, are really good. It was called, the one I got today was called Demons. It's another Italian film. Now, that one was really good. I like that. I like this black chick. She plays a prostitute in the movie. I actually added her to Facebook. I think she's actually an American, but she plays a lot of Italian films. And, well, she played in Demons. Now, she played a demon. And she was really good. She's a really hot-looking lady. She goes to a lot of the conventions. I think she lives in America. And she still looks good. She's not that old, but she's got to be in her 50s, and she still looks really hot. But I got Demon Sale on Blu-ray. It was like $15, and then I bought Suspiria, which honestly I never really liked the film, but I got it. It's getting shipped from Japan. No, actually Korea, and it was like worth it because I think I got it practically for free because I had some eBay money I had to use up, so I just used it on that. And it's a special limited Blu-ray edition, which is region-free, which is really cool because that movie actually was originally only released on Blu-ray for the first time in the UK. And I can play UK, but it's a lot more expensive. So I paid a couple bucks just to have it for the nostalgic reasons. I don't really think I'll be able to stomach through Suspiria. I'm saying that because the movie's just kind of boring. It's kind of stupid. It's considered a classic movie. Demons, on the other hand, was really good. Now, me and my friend Matt, we went and saw Suspiria not Suspiria, I'm sorry. We went and seen Demons 2 at a horror fest, and it was like, Demons 2 was all right. Demons, the original one, not the sequel, the original one was really good. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to go through all this stuff. Some people have been commenting back and stuff on stuff I've posted, so I'm looking through that real quick in case I always look for the ones that, hey, you got a story that I wanted to add to contribute to what you have put up. And they're the ones I actually always look for. So yeah, actually, it was funny because MeTV actually put up a movie a friend liked, which is another really good movie called Duel. That movie, believe it or not, was made for TV. And that being said, I'm sorry, I just got distracted real quick when somebody commented, a friend. So with that being said, Duel was he said he saw it in high school, and I never saw it in high school, but. Duel, but that is definitely a classic movie, and it was actually, I think it was, I want to say Stephen King, but it's not Stephen King, it's not John Carpenter. The guy who did Jaws actually made it. I'm trying to think. God, it's going to come to me. He also did, he's Steven Spielberg, right? Yeah, Steven Spielberg. Sorry, I just knocked something. So that was, I believe, Steven Spielberg's first movie was Duel. And it was made for TV, and that's the whole point. I'm going to open it up real quick to see what MeTV has to say about Duel. And it's not opening up. It is actually open up. Yeah, it says 1970 there was a golden age of television movies. And there was actually some really good movies that scared the crap out of me, basically made for TV. There was like late night TV movies, the movie of the week for TV, and they were really good. They're saying Brian's song I've never heard of was number 1, and number 2 was Duel with Dennis Weaver. He also played in some type detective show too. Spielberg. Yeah, that was Spielberg's like probably one of his first movies. That kind of was prior to Jaws even, because that was 1971. So yeah, it was. And it was a movie called, number 3 was The Blue Knight. I've never heard of it. The Girl Most Likely 2. Never heard of that. Bram Stoker's Dracula. I didn't know that. It says The Quester Tape. I never heard of that. Thursday Game. Kind of looks familiar. Love Among the Ruins. And Sybil. Never heard of that. All You Need Is Cash. Never heard of that. These are all movies made for TV, by the way. All Quiet on the Western Front. Movie number 12 was Elvis. Number 13 is Friendly Fire. Never heard of any of those films, honestly, except Duel. I knew that was made for TV. The one I'm thinking about actually was remade into a movie that was put out in the theaters. And I'm trying to think of the name of it because it really scared the crap out of me. And it's like People Under the Stairs. It wasn't that. But it was something, remake. Maybe I should put that in. Remake of movie. Let's see. I'll just put in remakes of TV movies into movies and see if it comes up. But it says 105. But there were certain movies that were remakes, and they were made from TV movies that were made into like regular movies. And I can't remember, because I remember I bought this one particular one. The original one made for TV, the movie that was made for TV, was really good. The one that came out in the theaters was horrendous. It was horrible. It wasn't even that scary at all. And I just remember it was where these people were like little people. They were like creatures. And they were locked in this house in the furnace area. And somebody unlocked the furnace. These people came out. I can't remember the name of the film off the top of my head. And when I was a kid, it scared the crap out of me. And it was made for TV. Even there was Trilogy of Terror, which was really good because it had Karen Black. That was made for TV too, also. So there are some movies that were like excellent movies. I'm going to see if I can, because now it's going to bother me. Locked into a furnace. Let's see if I can come up with it. No, it's not coming up. Because, see, it's going to come off the Wes Craven film that was People Under the Stairs. Let me try this. I'm basically putting in People Locked into a Furnace, a horror movie. Oh, yeah, it did actually come up. It was 1973. The movie was actually called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Now, the movie that was made from the original one was not good at all. The remake was horrible. The original one was actually called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. It was 1973. And I found that somewhere. I got a copy of the movie on DVD. And it's one of those movies you don't want to watch at nighttime, and it will scare the crap out of you. The remake was horrible. Again, they had some little girl who actually ended up playing in a Disney TV show. She was a really good actress, a young lady who was really good. And it's actually shown other movies that were on that same line, and it definitely does show Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black. But that movie... And there was another one that was another made-for-TV movie that was really good. It actually, my mother loves over the years. But that were the good old days. There was that golden age of movies made for TV that were really, really good. But that was the one that just kept me up at nights. It would be Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. So, anyway, it was funny. One of the reasons I wanted to kind of do a podcast, I'm going back and forth. At this point, I'm officially considered a total crazy nutball. But I swear it was definitely her twin. I was over, like, today I was trying to call my parents, like, hey, listen, I want to meet up with you guys, my parents, because they were going to go over and get a steak, what do you call it, a steak sandwich. And it was like, yeah, this sounds like a really good idea. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this. This is so cute. There's some guy's video on Daily Mail, and he's got a little baby rabbit, a little white baby rabbit, and the rabbit looks like, it says it's paralyzed, but it looks like it has no back legs. So he made this little crazy contraption so the rabbit can run around, and it's like really having fun with this guy. I'm not even kidding. It says a paralyzed bunny uses a teeny skateboard to move around. It looks so cool. It looks really cool, and the bunny looks really cute. And just to give you a heads up, I've been putting up more women in disco spandex pants again. I joined this page a while back, and there's some really hot looking girls on there. Most of them are Asian too, which is even double hot. But yeah, I can't get enough of it. So just to give you a heads up. So anyway, I go over. I was like, okay, I was going to wait for my parents to get something to eat, and it didn't work out. Like, they would not pick up their phones. They said, "Oh, our phones never rang." It's like, yeah, I called you. I got your answer machines. Well, I don't understand. The phones don't work. Well, probably because you had the ringer turned off. That's plain and simple. So I decided, like, okay, well, I'm not going to get anywhere with my parents. I'm just going to basically just get something on my own. So I went over. I have a Subway and an Acme Market right in Trooper here. It's like walking distance from the house. I didn't walk, but I could if I wanted to. And I go over to Acme first. I was going to go in to pick up spring water, and call me crazy because I've been called that many a times. But I go in there, and what appeared to be this woman could pass for her double. I'm not even kidding. It was the closest I've ever saw. And it wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me at all. It appeared this woman looked right at me too, and she smiled. It was like, I wonder if that really is who I think it is, Sharon Doherty. So here I am in the Acme Markets. This girl, Shannon Doherty, she's 44 years old. And if it wasn't her, then this girl could again pass as though it was her body double, because she looked precisely exactly the same. She looked just like Shannon Doherty. And it was like, it just kind of like, wow, is that really Shannon Doherty that I'm seeing in Acme Markets leaving? And again, she looked right at me, and I was kind of shocked. So here, I told my parents and everything. I looked it up just in case, because you know why? It could have been her. And anyway, I got to pause for a minute because I'm getting disrupted. Already, I just had somebody walk in while I was on the air. I knew that was going to eventually happen after, because with the thing I've learned, your best bet is not to say anything to anybody, and then you won't get distracted. You say, hey, you know what? Can you be quiet for like an hour because I'm going to be on the air? When you say that, then they'll write it's like psychosomatic. I don't know. But people automatically go, okay, that means I should come in and talk to you. Yep. Exactly what I was intending for you to do. So anyway, I go into Acme Markets, like I said, because I lost my train of thought, and it definitely looked like Shannon Doherty, and it was like it had to be. So I looked online, and I did see some reports saying about Shannon Doherty. Now, one thing that's been on the news lately, just to give you a heads up, she's got breast cancer, and it looks like she may need what she's kind of holding out on, which is not a really good idea. She may need a mastectomy or whatever. She needs to get her breast removed because she's got cancer, breast cancer. And it's like she's a little bit leery about doing that right now. So, wow, that's a creepy face on this person. So, yeah, I heard about this, and it was like, wow, and it said something about around being in Philly. Now, the other thing is, it's not too far off that also you got to take in consideration that Kevin Smith is supposed to be start filming, and I still am like wondering about that. They should have been film, or at least setting up for not post but pre-production on the Kevin Smith's Mallrats, because I mean, you had Jason Mewes doing that convention with all the people from Mallrats, not in this state but elsewhere. I went over to where they're supposed to be shooting Mallrats, and it looked like that was definitely something that was going to probably start taking place. And, it's just too much. And then I saw somebody who I swear looked just like Shannon Doherty. So I was like, was it really her, or am I just imagining things? It's because you would think, now, I live in Trooper. Shannon is, if she was in town, she'd probably most likely, they're going to be shooting the film in Exton. So it's a half an hour distance between both. Now, if you got celebrities in town, which we've had celebrities, big celebrities, who have actually, they come in for conventions and stuff, and they're down in, I'm trying to think, in Audubon, which is right down the street from where I live, at Expo, is it Expo or something like that? So take that in consideration. And another thing that I take also into consideration, remember that the biggest mall in our country is right here in King of Prussia. The King of Prussia Mall is the biggest mall in the entire country, probably in most of the globe. So if it was Shannon Doherty, it would probably most likely could be a possibility. One, because I'm sure she's going to at least make a little bit of an appearance, possibly on, she should be in the Mallrats movie. That would be number one. Number two, if you're staying, you're not going to stay around Exton because you're going to probably draw attention to yourself. So you're going to go where people are not going to you're going to get them off guard. So that would be number two. Number three is, just remember, you're talking the King of Prussia Mall, which is the biggest mall in the freaking country. So there's a lot of ingredients that could have definitely been her today. So it was kind of funny though, because I was mentioning to my parents when I got home. I said, I think I saw Shannon Doherty in the Acme Market right around the house. And the funny thing was, I mentioned this, and my dad says, "Oh yeah, maybe Shannon." She's 44 years old. Just remember, I just said that. He said, though, my dad, he said, "Oh yeah, well maybe she's in Pennsylvania because my mom said they do have cancer treatment centers in Philly and outside of Philly that are actually pretty damn good. So it could be a possibility." My dad just came in with some tea. That's what kind of distracted me. So it was he said, his response was, "Well, maybe she's at a children's hospital." It's yeah. A woman 44 years old with breast cancer is going to be in the children's hospital because they did just open one up, or I think it is open now. There's a children's hospital right outside the mall, and there is some pretty decent, good hospitals around here now. But it was just funny. He got me off guard with that one. I was laughing for a good hour almost in that one. So anyway, yeah, but it just got to me. It's okay, I'm going to have to maybe make probably another trip over the Exton Mall because if that's the case, it's only half an hour from my house. And I just wish I would have thought, hey, that would have been definitely somebody I would have asked, hey, listen, I know you're going through some hard times. The last thing you want to do is have some fan-based person driving you freaking nuts. But would you consider maybe, could I do a podcast with you? Because I've done it with the comic book man. It would be really cool. That would definitely put me back in the right direction. But unfortunately, I don't know. But I know she looked right at me and she smiled at me and was like, I had to do a double take too because I just saw a publicity shot of Shannon Doherty recently. It was on the Daily Mail UK. Not that she was in the UK. And that picture that I had saw just recently looked like the same woman I saw today. So it's all speculation. There's no way to prove anything, but it definitely looked like her. Oh, wow, I didn't know this because I know she's from around here. There's a story on, and now here's another one, Taylor Swift. It says on Fox 29, she's a hometown girl, Taylor Swift, who keeps the promise after Fame. Taylor Swift returned to Pennsylvania over the weekend to serve as a maid of honor in a childhood friend's wedding. So I didn't know that. So see, there you go. You have different celebrities that are around. Taylor Swift actually came home. I know I just said it. to help out in the wedding. She was a maid of honor in Pennsylvania here. So if Taylor Swift was around here, how can it not be that I probably did see, and I'm not saying it's true, Shannon Doherty? I mean, that would be not that far of a stretch. So I just thought it was pretty cool, and I thought it was really cool what you can do with your PlayStation 4. I got to call and find out what I can do. So anyway, that was like the main things. I'm not going to make this a 2-hour show again. I think I did a pretty damn good job because I wasn't and hawing that much like I normally do because I didn't have anything prepped. And sometimes I'm going with that again tonight. So there you go with the Taylor Swift, and that was pretty cool. Some of the stuff I did put on my Facebook page just earlier, not that for people to look at, was a story from PIX11. It says a 10-year-old went missing from her home, and police say she was killed by her own teenage brother. So I'm opening that one up just real quick because it definitely. And that was in Fountain, Florida. Yeah, Fountain. Makes me think of that book called The Fountainhead just because it said Fountain. So she got killed by her brother. Why, I don't know. Isabella Heffernan, last seen Saturday night at 10 p.m. at her home on Nona Wood Road in Fountain, Florida. She appeared missing, and then they found out that her brother killed her. 10 years old. Now, here's another one just to give you a heads up, because I think my parents has been suffering with this, I know. PX11 again. A 9-year-old woman lost her entire life savings when she trusted 2 strangers who promised to help her. Police are asking for public help to make sure this does not happen again. Fake construction workers tricked 9-year-old New Jersey woman out of life savings. Now, that's been happening to my aunt. She's been falling for stuff. She's not in Jersey. She lives right down the street from me. And she falls for that stuff all the time. Alrighty, a friend just sent me one, so I might as well use it, from New York Post. A 19-year-old mom-to-be was lured into the woods after thinking she and her boyfriend were going shopping for baby clothes. The man burned his pregnant girlfriend alive because he didn't want to be a dad. So there you go. That was just posted. Thank you, Todd. I just found this now. And that happened just recently, probably today. It says Maria Perner, 19, was lured into the woods on the outskirts of Berlin, Germany, by Erwin Tobin and his 20-year-old friend Daniel Moeller. So they burned the girl alive because the guy didn't want to be a daddy. It's pretty sick. So I'm just going to go down these lists. There's some interesting pictures I have. I have some picture. I don't think it's for real. But it's a picture. It looks like of a woman's head, and she's got the Jaws theme painted on her face. Now, here's the real clincher, though. It also has the Jaws teeth where her mouth is. So it must be just like some type of mask on top of her face, but it looks pretty realistic and very scary. So I'm just trying to look what else I have. The Taylor Swift thing, the little girl. People keep on like... Carol commented. Okay, friend Carol. So the only problem is I have so many pictures up of these spandex girls that it's just like hard to get through the real stories. Now here is one from... I got a lot of stories from Breitbart. Effort to open voting to illegal immigrants underway in New York City. So migration activists are pushing for illegal immigrants to be granted the right to vote in New York City, and say legislation that effect would be introduced later this year. See, they're pushing this because this is the year of our election, and this is the only way the Democrats are going to win if they pull like shady shit like that. Anyway, I got a story from MeTV. Would the Bradys be able to afford this house today? And they're showing a picture like of what these houses would cost in real life as opposed to what they show on these TV shows. And it says from MeTV, here are what these 9 TV homes will cost in real life. So let's see what it says because I haven't opened it up yet. It says the Brady Bunch house The average estimate of the Brady Bunch residents, the house they owned back then, was only $61,000. Today, that same home would cost, on today's market, the house in the Brady Bunch would cost $1.4 million. Can you believe that? Laverne and Shirley, they basically split their cost 50-50 from $725 to $875 a month. It was what it would cost nowadays. So it says, because Laverne and Shirley was number 2. That show was based around the 50s. Listed for $725 a month to $875 a month. That would be quite a steal if they split it 50-50. I apologize. So it doesn't really give you because they paid rent. Number 3 was I Love Lucy. They lived in Manhattan, 68th Street in Manhattan. That's what the story was based on. It was probably done actually in Hollywood. Today, one-bedroom apartment in the Upper East Side goes from around $2,100 to $10,000 or $1,100 a month. So they're actually on that one, just given what it would cost for the rent. The Honeymooners, they also lived in an apartment in Brooklyn. They said today the one-bedroom apartment they had back then would cost around $2,300 a month. Nearby cheaper would be $1,800 a month. It says Happy Days, the house they had, listed around $900,000 today. It said they used the exterior shots for the Happy Days. The house that you showed in Happy Days was the exterior shot. Actually, is a 6-bedroom and 2-bathroom house in Southern California. Today, it's estimated around $3.2 million. That house that was the Cunninghams. The Bob Newhart Show. It said the apartment that they live in, if you ever watched the original Bob Newhart Show, it says would cost $240,000. I guess it was probably a condo then. And then it's Mary Tyler Moore Show. Wow. It says the Mary Tyler Moore Show, the home that she lived in. It says Mary Tyler Moore Show. The single-family home worth around $2 million today. See, I thought she lived in an apartment when I used to watch Mary Tyler Moore. So it must have been a different show. There's nothing comparable to the Mary Tyler Moore apartment. There you go. Market it in Kenwood, but 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment is nearby around $895 a month to $1,300 a month. Now, here's another one everybody should know, Andy Griffith's Show. That was actually Mount Airy, North Carolina. I did not know that. It's the real life version of the same home. Andy and Opie lived mostly in similar homes. Mount Airy are currently listed around for the same type of home that was in the Andy Griffith Show from around $80,000 to $150,000. So, and the last one on this list was the Beverly Hillbillies. Everybody must know that the Jed Clampetts must have received a pretty hefty payday when they struck oil. It said the mansion used for exterior shots on the series is a 10-bedroom, 12-bathroom. That's really nice. Over 2,100 square feet. The mansion in Bel Air. It says right now it estimates around, get this, $18 million. So that's today's market on that from the Beverly Hillbillies. The exterior shots they used of that house that mansion is now worth $18 million. That's incredible. So, and by the way, I have a really hot picture of Adrienne Barbeau. I used to love her. I still do, but back in the day when she did the movies Swamp Thing. Oh, that was another thing, Swamp Thing and The Fog, and some other movies she did. That movie I was telling you about, Return of the Evil Dead, some of the premise kind of looked like that John Carpenter might have taken that from the movie The Fog. Because there's a part where they go into a church. Most of the movie is done where these people protect themselves from these walk-in dead people in a church. And the whole premise did definitely remind me of the same premise they used in the movie that John Carpenter did of The Fog. So I'm sure that director from South America definitely influenced quite a few people. And obviously, in my opinion, I think he obviously did influence, John Carpenter by the looks of it. There were some other feels I had for this. I felt some other things in that film that, like, okay, this obviously did interest quite a few people for different reasons. My friend Todd just now sent me another story from the New York Daily Mail, and this is interim head coach for Knicks caught licking porn tweet. Is it licking or liking? Says he was hacked. It says Kurt Rambis likes female masturbation photos on Twitter. It says Knicks say he was hacked. It says the New York Knicks have gone from the horny coach to another. One horny coach to another one. It says interim head coach Kurt Rambis showed he needs some help using Twitter over the weekend after a very pornographic tweet of a woman masturbating showed up and his liked tweets. So he liked it. I said licked. I meant to liked. So I apologize about that. That just went up, so thank you, Todd. And you just sent me something else, too. So Todd sent me another story, and it's Liz Cho busted for talking on cell phone driving without insurance. I'm probably saying her last name wrong. So she got pulled over for texting and driving. Liz CHO. What is that, Cho? I don't even know who that is. For talking on cell phone driving without insurance. CABC TV news anchor Liz Cho was busted for using a cell phone while driving her brand new BMW in the Upper West Side on Monday, and cops later learned that she had no car insurance, law enforcement sources told the Post. See, that's what happened to me. There was some newscaster just the other day, I think it was the other day, got killed. And ironically, I made the joke. I said, yeah, it's the same group of young girls driving in their car that almost ran me off the road or were driving because the girl was driving with her phone in front of her face, texting while driving behind me. She almost ran right into my car, right in the back of my car, my Tiguan. And it was like, I told my parents, I said, you got to be really careful. I told about this the other day. And miraculously, there was some blonde-haired woman, a newscaster from around here, who just recently, literally the other day, got killed. So you got to be really careful about that. I got to read this one. I might actually read it on air too. They're making a joke about Bernie Sanders and Trump and about making a wall blocking Mexico from coming in the States. And it's a political cartoon. And the walls look identical. Like there's no difference in the walls. So minus that one is guarded and one is not. So and I have my opinion, which I stated the other day, that Trump is basically, he's a glorified Democrat pretending to be a Republican. I have a story. I might have read this other way. It says from the Morning Call, police want to identify a man suspected of assaulting women with bodily fluids in a store. And the police want to identify the suspect for basically throwing semen in women in a department store, I guess. Or does it say grocery store? So, and it's in Bethlehem. The police hope to identify the man suspected of throwing semen on women Monday morning in the grocery store. So I apologize about that. If you know the person, if you're from around Bethlehem, there is a phone number on this story. It's called Detective Bradford Jones at 610-865-7146. Or it says the Police Communications Center at 610-865-7187. Basically, this guy was throwing semen at women in the grocery market. It was not me, trust me. I wouldn't have that much to throw. Hey, this was pretty funny. I had to make a joke even for myself. And I sent it to a friend, and it was on guiltyfix.com. Now, this one was really funny. These celebrities have the most bizarre collections. Wait until you see what they are. And it goes through a list of, like, really popular celebrities. Now, the one I was making a joke of, because I was collecting all these action figures and dolls, I still do, of, like, Lady Gaga, the Superman. Well, I don't got Superman, I got Batman for the new movie coming out. And this time I did keep it in the box, by the way. I did not take it out of the box. I normally take my stuff out of the box and I prop it up. This time I did not. So guess who's on like the top of the list was Johnny Depp for his obsession on collecting Barbie dolls. I'm not even kidding, and the other types of dolls. So he's like surrounded with more dolls than I ever had. And they're all like these Barbie-like and Ken dolls, and he's like holding two of them up. Like he's got an obsession with collecting them. I was like, wow, I don't feel so bad anymore. Anyway, a story set for my friend Todd also today was cops jealous. It says, well, it's basically a police report. Jealous husband arrested after trying to shoot his wife breastfeeding their newborn. So I kind of made the joke. I don't know where that came from. That maybe that I don't blame the guy because, hey, that's his milk. It's not the baby's. I mean, it's really bad. It was on InsideEdition.com, by the way. It was in Minnesota. The jealous man of his newborn child basically tried to shoot his wife while she was breastfeeding the baby, authorities said. Nicholas George, 28 years old, charged earlier this month with a felony and assault with a firearm from basically back in July 2015. So I don't know. I know it's pretty bad, but baby was only 4 months old and the wife was breastfeeding him. Oh, there's a really funny video I put up on my Facebook page too. It's a Snickers ad, or like when you're really hungry, you're somebody else. And I swear to God, I don't mean to swear like that, but it's really funny. It's a Snickers, and it's called Marilyn, like Marilyn Monroe. And it's the guy who plays in the Spider-Man movie. He plays, I'm trying to think, Spider-Man movie. The original, well, the one that first came out that started the whole Spidey movie thing. I'm trying to think who played the villain. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. James Cameron, Raimi, Spider-Man 2002. Wow, was that far back? Who was the villain, Joe? Peter Parker, Jane Watson, Uncle Ben, Norman Osborn, Harry Osborn. I think it was Harry. Oh, he played the Green Goblin. That actor who played the Green Goblin was in this. I swear it was him, and it was really funny. Yeah, I think it was. And he does a really good job. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was William Dafoe. And he plays in this Snickers commercial, the person before he eats the Snickers bar, he's playing Marilyn Monroe when she's over top of the vent with her skirt being blown up. And then they give her a Snickers bar, and William Dafoe, if that's who it was, turns into Marilyn Monroe. And it was really funny. Oh, that's another thing, too, before I forget, because I know it's in this mix. Now, this is really cool. You know how, like, the whole thing with vinyl has made a comeback? Like, everybody now, like, you can go to, they open up record stores, and they said records had made a comeback for the last couple years. Now they're saying cassettes do. And it's like, I don't understand why cassettes ever actually died out, because they were perfect. I loved buying cassettes. I bought so many albums and stuff that, back in the day before you would buy them on CD, because they were so compact. They were really easy to carry, and they actually sounded really good. So they're saying now that cassettes in Europe and in the U.S. have made a comeback. And I was like, wow, I wish they never went away, honestly, because I used to enjoy buying everything on cassette deck, tapes. And I didn't mind carrying those Walkman because the tapes weren't that big. They actually lasted. I mean, it depends if you got like a double album, which was on one tape. The tape was pretty thin, and yeah, they would break. But it would take a long time for it to actually wear, and the sound quality was not bad at all. So if I find out, I'll read that. But anyway, my friend Todd did send the story. A Prospect Park man, 39, convicted in a rape of a 12-year-old. So I made kind of a sarcastic remark about it. It says, Media Courthouse, a 39-year-old Prospect Park man was convicted on child rape and related charges Friday following a trial last week before a judge, Jason Nielsen, I think his name was, the judge. James, oh no, I was way off. James Nillen or something. This looks like our Delco Times paper. Where's that? 48-year-old Prospect Park man was convicted on child rape and related charges Friday. On a trial last week, Judge James Nellen or something. Okay, well, this guy, Patrick Timothy Fries of 600 block Sumneytown Avenue, was also convicted and charged on aggravated indecent assault of a child and indecent assault of a person less than 13 years old. I didn't know there was an age thing on that. The jury, anybody under 18, I thought was on that thing. The jury deliberated for nearly 6 hours before delivering the verdict Friday. So I assume this was around here, well, in Pennsylvania at least, to say, because they said, where was it? The guy was from 600 blocks, Sumney Avenue. So that's a pretty weird story, though. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what this paper's from. Delco, I guess Delaware Valley. Yeah, it doesn't really say. It's not, well, yeah, it kind of would be nice to know. And honestly, if this guy is 48 years old, I must be like 95, or I must be 13 myself. Because this guy, he's a year younger than me, and he looks like he's twice my age. He literally does. He looks a lot older than I do. So I got some other cool stuff. I'm going to try to just kind of bleed through. Oh, yeah. Okay, here's the one, by the way. I found this myself on Amazon. It was from PIX11. It says Amazon increases free shipping minimum to $49, but there is no one exception. Amazon has increased its minimum purchase to qualify for free shipping from $35 to $49 unless you're buying over $25 in books. It says the company has updated its shipping options page to reflect the charge. So here's a quote. Orders include $25 or more eligible books qualify for free shipping. All orders of $49 or more of eligible items across any product category also qualify for free shipping. With free shipping, your order will be delivered 5 to 8 business days after all your items are available to ship, including pre-order items. So that's changed. I'm drinking now this cold tea, by the way. So they're changing it. Now, the thing I just ordered was like $30, so it was a little over $30. That was good. Now, here is a story I saw, and I saw it more than once, and I think it's just really stupid, but I have to read it anyway. And now, get this. The title alone is just going to make you laugh. It's from there was 2 different sources I got this from. It was posted today on Adolf Hitler. The Telegraph, Hitler has had a teeny deformed penis as well as just one testicle, historians claim. So who gives a fuck? I'm swallowing again, by the way. Anyway, it says Hitler suffered from a condition called hypo whatever, which left him with an abnormal small manhood, according to historians Jonathan Mayo and Irma Craigie or something. Again, who gives a fuck? The guy had a small penis and one testicle. He was like a cyclops in his pants. I just find it funny. I couldn't help it. I had to really kind of live that one up in so many words or less because I thought it was just so funny. So I'm waiting for my stories to open up, so I apologize. And I'm going to go down because, again, I got too many spandex pictures again, so I apologize. Hey, it's good for me. It's good for masturbation material later on at night. Oh, here was one I was going to read from Tal Menson, I think. And it says, my friend Todd, I think, sent this to me, so thank you. Man assaults Tal Menson police officer in racially charged incident report. Now, you're going to think right away, okay, it's black on cop crime, but this time it's a black cop. So it basically says he hurled racial slurs and threats at a black officer and said that he if he would take another step, he could make the wrong move. Again, this was in Towamencin, so even the black cops are really under scrutiny too. The Towamencin man allegedly assaulted a police officer was checking on the safety of the man's son, according to the report. Calvin Richard Medlin, 46, of Pross Road, was arrested February 18th when police went to the medium home to investigate after receiving a call from the boy's mother that he was in danger, the reports state. All right, there's more to this story, but I just kind of want to get people a little bit like, hey, if you want to read it, you can. I just feel bad for the cops in general are just really got a bad rep right now. So I feel bad in many ways. I think, Todd sent me another story. I'm just going to go through these stories. I promise I'm not going to make this even an hour long. It probably will be at this point. And my friend Todd sent a story from Decider.com. I've never heard of it. Will Smith's Ally co-star accuses him of steroid use, being an asshole, basically says. It was not put out, but they said, yeah, Will Smith's Ally, I guess he played in this movie, co-star accuses him of being on steroids and an asshole. Sometimes the drama that goes on behind the scenes is almost as interesting as the movie itself. That may be the case with the director Michael Mann's 2001 biop, Ali, the boxer. If comedian Paul Rodriguez is to be believed, during an interview with San Diego rock station, Rodriguez said that Will Smith was an asshole to work with before speculating about whether Smith took steroids to prepare for his tutorial role in Ali. I think I said Ali, but I meant Ali. Mohammed. No, how do you say his name? That one boxer. So that's what that was about. But they said that, yeah, Will Smith was a real asshole to work with. So that's pretty interesting. Oh, yeah. I don't know if this is the other one. Yeah, the other one on Adolf Hitler with the teeny dick was actually on the Telegraph. So there was two different stories that I found. Again, on the same source. So for some reason, that just hit a lot of news, different articles today. Different people covered the same story on Adolf Hitler, based about his small one testicle and small penis, his micro penis, they called it. Now, here is a story I pulled up, and the girl looked much better beforehand. She was one who got major plastic surgery. It says, and it was on Opposing Views, by the way. It says, woman spends over $45,000 on plastic surgery, ends up looking like these photos that you can't see, but I could, and they were horrible. She looked really cute beforehand. She was like one of these German-looking women. She had that really blonde hair, like white, like my other woman, who will be in Civil War, of Gwyneth Paltrow. But Gwyneth Paltrow, I think her hair is a little bit darker, but it kind of reminded me of that. But that's what the girl looked like beforehand. She looked really cute. Now she just looks like some type of joke. It says this is what a woman started out looking like. If you looked at these pictures, again, they're on my webpage, but it's Opposing Views. By any objective measure, she looked totally normal. She did. Then she decided to spend a whopping $45,000 on plastic surgery, and then they show what she looks like, and it's really scary. Like, she got these humongous breasts. They're like 5 times the size of her body. She got those really large lips. She looks like a freak. If you ever watched that movie, it was called The Wishmaster, where the girl gets the inflated... The actress is actually a really good actress, but she wishes for something or whatever, or doesn't wish for something. In The Wishmaster, or was that Leprechaun? I can't remember. I think it was Wishmaster. I could have been wrong. Maybe it was the Leprechaun movie. They're in a casino, and this one woman who's known for making these horror movies... Either one of those movies, maybe it was Leprechaun, they make her ass and make her lips look like duck lips, and they make her ass look like a duck ass. Well, this girl who got $45,000 worth of plastic surgery looks worse than that horror movie of either Leprechaun which I think it was now, or Wishmaster. I can't remember. She looks that incredibly bad. She looks really scary. So just a heads up on that. And there was a comicbookmovie.com. It says Pepper Potts, who is Gwyneth Paltrow, appears in Captain America Civil War, and the ending will be controversial. So I'm not going to read any more. So another story was body found outside closed Allentown club. That was from the Morning Call. And it says Allentown police are investigating the discovery of a body outside the closed Allentown club building. Not familiar with it. Now, here is the story I was telling you that this person reminded me of the blonde-haired girl who was texting while driving behind me on Saturday. She kind of reminded me of the same person, and this was on the Morning Call, so it would be kind of an irony. It isn't the same person, because the girl that was driving behind me was actually, I'm trying to think, she was actually like a teenager. She might have been in college. Anyway, the story is titled from the Morning Call, or it says from the Morning Call, her family said that the Facebook post that the 24-year-old died with her loved ones by her side in an operating room, and that her organs were all donated. It says former Miss New Jersey dies a week after car crash. So this was in Camden, New Jersey. The former Miss America contestant died early Monday, a week after her car spun off a New Jersey highway and crashed into a tree. So it'd be kind of ironic if it was the same person, but this girl was only 20. Well, this girl's 24 years old. I think the girl I seen was probably a bit younger than that. I just find it kind of funny. She actually ran into a tree. Former Miss America pageant contestant. I don't think she was a winner, was she? Let me look at that again. Former Miss New Jersey. So, yeah, I don't have much to say about that. I'm complaining about these people, and it's funny because my mother was complaining all day today because she was saying there's this girl, I still don't know what she looks like. She walks her dog without a leash, and the dog just basically craps and pisses on everything in our yard. And my mom said, we do have a right, if she continues to do that in the summertime when we have flowers, which she did last year, you are allowed apparently to call the cops, which I think my mother will do at this point. My dad's yelled at the girl, and she just ignores it, and she does the same thing again. She doesn't give two shits. Like, she's really got her head up her ass. So it's no shock when I see these young people, these young girls smashing into trees and killing themselves and probably killing other people too. Hey, I almost got killed the other day with some reckless woman not paying attention to the way she was driving. She almost literally ran into my car and ran me off the road sideways. Like, she almost smashed into my car because of the way she was driving. Luckily, I was on alert, though. Hey, there's a funny story from the Daily Mail. It says, naked man arrested after lining up for a ticket at Nashville airport. Yes, he is totally nude, and it's something you don't want to see. It will give you nightmares looking at this man. Traveling a bit too light, the naked man is arrested for walking into Nashville airport and lining up for a ticket. The man walked into Nashville International Airport naked on Sunday. The man, who has been identified, was arrested for public indecency. Well, he's a little bit overweight, too. That does not help. This is not the first time this man has been arrested, officials had said. The airport officials said that they have seen him walking outside the airport without clothes. He must feel very comfortable with himself. But this is the first time where he was seen inside the terminal itself, basically. The man's like casually walking around. He has absolutely nothing else on. Well, the one thing is he'll probably get through the metal detectors pretty easily because, he can't really conceive anything unless he puts it really up his anus. And here's the story I did want to mention. It was from the Daily Mail, by the way, on the cassettes. It says now cassettes have come back from the dead. No puns on that word because I did watch that movie called with the dead in there. And it says cassettes follow vinyl with huge boost in sales. And that was on the Daily Mail. So that's really cool. Again, I would love to see cassettes come back. That would be something I'd love to buy again as a cassette deck because they were so easy to store. They didn't take up that much room. And I had shitloads of cassettes, different albums and things like that. I would buy the albums. I didn't mind it because they were so small. They were easy to carry. Cassettes roll back into fashion. Format follows vinyl with a huge boost in sales after acts start releasing albums on tape, which is really cool. Before I forget, I'm going to finish this story. I just remembered, yesterday that Deadpool came in second week in a row at number one, and it's almost at $500 million at this point. It's like 487, something like that. Let me finish this story first about the cassettes, though. Just read the highlights. Music fans on both sides of the Atlantic are returning to cassettes. Return to prominence comes 2 decades after they were replaced by CDs. CDs aren't bad, but cassettes were much better on storage-wise. Vinyl sale records have grown steadily since 2007 to 20-year high in 2015. And it says Oxford Dictionary dropped cassette players from concise edition in 2011. So, but here they're making a comeback now. And I honestly, out of vinyl and cassettes, I liked cassettes much better. Again, they're just more easier to carry. As I'm looking for anything else that I was remotely interested in, like I just said that, about the Deadpool thing, I might just have to look that up again. Story sent, I don't know if I found this, I think my friend Todd sent this to me, but it was on PIX11 again. Disturbing video shows New York City teens torture and delivery man until man fights back. East Harlem disturbing video posted on Facebook over the weekend shows a group of teens snickering as they torture a delivery man. And again, I guess eventually the man finally fights back. It's just, this is out of hand with these gang violent crimes that just take place for no reason at all. I saw this one story with Adam Green. I think he is going to bring Holliston back finally for the 3rd season. I know there's been a lot of talk about that. He's got one of the actresses from the show. A huge catch-up on life stuff and tons of Season 3 plot lines scooperage dished by Adam. So, yeah, he is actually coming back for a 3rd season. That's really cool. Oh, I put up today, because that was really cool, and it's free. I have it somewhere, but I think I got it from, like, Region 2 type thing. But there was a comic relief thing on Doctor Who with Rowan Atkins playing the Doctor Who, but he regenerates like a couple times. There's a lot of big celebrities who the Doctor regenerates in on this comic relief thing. It is 20 minutes long, and again, it says BBC Classic Comic Relief, and it is really, really cool. It goes by the old nostalgic way the Doctor Who looked. It was for, I think, children in need. It's called Comic Relief. And the very last regeneration of the Doctor, because he's forced to keep on regenerating, is actually the chick who I believe played in Absolutely Fabulous, the blonde-haired chick lady. Now, this thing is rather old. I'm just trying to finish up this cold tea. Tea that was intentionally meant to be hot, but it was really funny. I haven't seen it in such a long time. I didn't realize it was like 20 minutes long, because technically it was a skit, and it's very, very funny. It is definitely worth checking out, and again, it's free, and I'm looking at it right now because they're showing this actor who played the style that I liked of the Master, which was the one that Roger Delgado originally had established, and then it was Anthony Ainley was the other one who was really well known as playing the Master. I did not like the way they changed or readapted the Master with John Sims, because I like John Sims as an actor, and I definitely did not like the way they reestablished him with Missy. I thought the actress who plays Missy, I thought that was just a total waste. So, anyway, yeah, if you want to see it like a real nostalgic Doctor Who, meant to be funny, it's a comic relief thing from England. This is one you definitely want to watch. And it says Whovians added a new video. Even the chick who plays the companion, she looks really familiar. I'm not sure, but I thought she was the chick, because this is like pretty old now. But I thought it's the same chick who actually is in Sherlock, who plays Watson's wife. But I'm not definite, but it definitely looks like her. I can't, but it definitely looks like her, though. I tried to download it earlier. I'm going to have to buy this again because I have it, I think. I'm not sure. I thought I do have it. And again, it's really fun to watch. And there's actually a thing I do, speaking about Sherlock, I put up, and it shows you the different languages you can find Sherlock in. So that is really cool, too, and that's on my Facebook page. I had something from Opposing Views with those sippy cups. You got to watch out for those because some guy who, you buy these sippy cups for your kids, the girl got really sick and there was stuff. It said as soon as it broke open the twist and sip cup, that's what they're called, you realize there was something that was making the little girl sick. And they show it, and it's like really bacteria infected or something. Like it's disgusting looking. Because I'm looking at, that was on Opposing Views again. This is Craig Bradford wrote on Facebook, his 7-year-old daughter had some stomach problems after giving her her sippy cup. Didn't know until we opened it up, and she got really bad diarrhea and stomach pains, this poor little kid. And he said he suspected the daughter's drinking bottle could have something to do with how she got really sick. They said to always make sure to keep the cup clean and sterilized. So there wasn't that. See for himself, he took a knife to his daughter's sippy cup, looked inside, and what he saw was very horrific, basically. It said he took a sharp knife and broke the cup apart because, you can't get all the way. You can clean it, but you can't clean it that well, apparently. So there's certain parts you can't reach even by sterilizing the cup. And it's a thing called Twist and Sip reusable drinking bottles, either by themselves or whatever. By the looks of it, they're even making a joke. Anyone who knows me, I'm very fully aware of how OCD and how OCD this person was and how he sterilized his kid's cup. But he opened up, and it looks like it was really like there's a part of the cup you can't take apart, and it was really like mildew built inside the cup that built up. It's a part you can't normally clean. I'm trying to think what it says. They show a picture, and again, it's like it says twist. They're called twist and sip cups, but they're not really getting to the place. The point. Well, you can find this story because maybe I'm missing it. I'm not seeing it, but it says dad discovers why daughter has been so sick, and it's on Opposing Views. Bradford's Facebook post has been shared over 690 times when parents commented on his post, sharing his own pictures of this bottle with bacteria gathered under the cup top. So there you go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, it is bacteria. So those sippy cups you give your kids aren't that safe. I've seen the infomercials for those. I'll have to mention that my mom too. Oh, by the way, this was really cool. So this is actually a bit promising if this is true, but it was on MrConservative.com. Trump looks like he's pretty much in the bag for getting the presidential GOP elect for Republicans. So it says breaking news, Trump names his vice president, and he said that he wants to name as vice president, which would definitely help out because they're complete opposite ends of the spectrum, is, believe it or not, he wants to name Senator Ted Cruz as the vice president. Now, that's true. That would be good because they both are on opposite views on many things, and that might be actually help, ground Trump if he does get it, which at this point my guess is he may get it. There's always that chance that it may not happen. But if it does, I'd feel a lot more safe if that would happen. I also put up something from Positively Republican, and it says BuzzPO.com. It says Hillary in panic mode once this bombshell video leaked from BuzzPO. So you can see that. It is actually a video. Camp Hillary is scrambling to delete the newly surfaced video from the internet as it unveils proof to all Americans the true reasons why Hillary wants to get into the White House. I have not watched this, so I can't comment on it. The bombshell video has already over 150,000 views and climbing. Share this story to remind friends and family why they should not vote for Hillary. So, again, actually it is, I keep on saying different things, but I'm going to get it right this time because I'm looking at it with the video, and it's buzzpo.com. So check that out. Even actually add that if you can. This one on Glenn Beck did this one on Glenn Beck Live. So, Glenn Beck Live. This got posted. He's live right now as I speak at 7:46. It's not even 8 o'clock. I didn't even know it was that late. I did put up some funny video, though. It's actually from Germany, so I can't read it because it's all in German. But you don't even have to understand what these people are saying. It's a comic short from Germany, I believe. And a guy's asking, can I see your passport? Like some security guard's asking to see his passport. And the security guard starts laughing hysterically because he looks at his passport picture, which had happened to me when I had one, and it looks horrendous compared to the way the guy looks now. This guy in the car, like, he gets stopped by a guard or something and says, can I see your passport, please? And he looks at it, and he just starts cracking up at the picture. So you don't even have to understand what they're saying to figure out what it's about. Hey, with another story I got from Opposing Views. I'm going to cut this short, I promise you. American News, actually. I said Opposing Views. It's actually American News. Mother sues after son discovers these private photos of her online. So it says a Virginia woman sued a Houston, Texas plastic surgeon after her son had discovered topless before and after photos of her posted to his website. That is pretty funny, actually. According to the report, the unidentified woman received treatment for breast cancer in 2004. During that time, she consulted the Dr. Pierre Chevrier, who showed her nude before and after photos of anonymous former patients, which he reportedly told the women that he needed the photos to create a symmetry or whatever, and ensure the best outcome according to the suit. But apparently, in so many words or less, this guy was posting these photos all lied of these women that were in for breast cancer on their before and after shots. That's pretty funny. I'm sorry, it's not, but it is. Sorry, I gotta get a drink of water. I have another story from PX11. Two more slashings happen in the Bronx this weekend, less than 24 hours apart. So, the Bronx in New York, they're having these random attacks on women that they're getting slashed. It was in PIX11. The Bronx, two more slashings happened this past weekend, just hours apart. Police say women were walking on Holland Avenue Saturday evening around 5 o'clock when two men jumped out of a car and stabbed a woman in the abdomen and slashed her, this one woman at least. The one woman, she got stabbed in the abdomen and her right ear. The woman was taken to Jahobi Medical Center. Her condition is unknown. Now, the second woman slashed happened less than 24 hours later around 3:30 a.m. Sunday. Police say the 32-year-old man was slashed on the left side of his face by a stranger. So I thought they said they were both women. So one was a woman, one was a man. The victim told police the stranger approached him from behind in front of 920 East 173rd Street and cut his face before fleeing. No arrests have been made. These incidents are just the latest in a string of slashings across the city this year. So that was in the Bronx. It's pretty scary. I'm not going to take any. There was a trip I could actually take to Brooklyn. I guess I'm not going to do that anytime soon. Oh, it was a kind of a promising story. Maybe I'll leave it at that. Actually, it was Buzz P.O. I think I read something else from there where basically it says Trump highly unlikely to run as an independent. So if he does lose the Republican GOP, he's not going to then run. He says for now he's not going to run, as a separate party. Thank goodness, because I don't want that to happen. And there's another stab, and it's probably the same story. 2 men stopped their car and randomly attacked a woman in the latest of scary stabbings on slashings in New York City. So this was a different post, though. They were both, I think, from PIX 11, but this actually was caught on video. So there's more to say about that because you actually see the incident happen in video. Shows 2 men who stab and cut a woman in the Bronx sidewalk. So it is the same story, but the first one, because that was actually the first one, which I read. Secondly, they actually did get caught on videotape. It was 2 people. Opposing Views actually had had a story too that I wanted to read. Officials took one look at the conditions these children were being forced to live in and arrested the parents immediately. So there was another kind of wild story I had from Opposing Views. Here are the conditions these parents were forcing the children to live in. And that was, again, on Opposing Views. Police conducting a welfare check Tuesday in Alabama came across 2 children living in an infested home, prompting the arrest of both parents. The officials called on an elderly man to check on him and discovered his 8-year-old granddaughter helping care for him. The deputy thought that the 8-year-old was a little young to be taking care of a grandfather on her own and inquired as to where her parents were, said Captain Stephen Arthur, according to Fox 10. The girl showed the deputy to her parents' home next door. The deputy described the trailer as looking abandoned due to weeds and grass growing around it. Upon being allowed into the residence by the child's mother, the deputy discovered the home covered in animal feces, cockroaches, and rotten food. Rats were also present, WKRG reported. Again, I don't know how these people procreate. Arthur stated that the conditions of the residence was so bad that it may be declared public health hazard. Fox 10 reported, however, no course of action has been decided upon thus far. The officer found an 11-year-old boy living there. Both he and his 8-year-old girl were taken into custody, I guess his sister, of Child Protection Services. The parents, Stephanie and Joseph Spicer, were arrested on misdemeanor charges of child endangerment as on Tuesday evening, and they were being held on $2,000 each, according to Fox 10. So it's not that much. Ooh, they actually got pictures, and it is really bad. These pictures look really gross. So if you want to see, and there is, it's disgusting. It is extremely disgusting. I'm trying to cut this short because it's getting a little bit long tooth again. And that being said, I actually have to get up. You know what? They were celebrating the other day, by the way. Today, well, it was actually, it was 9 hours ago, so it was today. We remember that the late Stephen Irvin, the guy, who was that guy that got killed by a stingray or whatever, the crocodile hunter, would have been 54 today. So they kind of gave their rest in peace thing. I didn't know he was actually, he's not that much older than me. He was only a few years older than me because he had 2 kids. And there was another story. I'm just going to read through these really quick. Comicbook.men, Martin Freeman's role in Captain America Civil War revealed. What do you think? So that's a guy who plays on Sherlock Holmes, and he's the guy who he's going to be in Captain America. He plays Watson, by the way. Deadpool just broke another record. I was going to mention that. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to leave it go at that once it opens. Cinema Blend. And I looked it up. Yeah, I really got to go to the bathroom. I know it was close to $500 million for Deadpool, which was far beyond. It says now Deadpool casually gammered a 10-day total of $235 million at domestic box office, allowing to beat the X-Men Last Stand at $234 in the days future past. So that's not the whole gist of the story, though. Bottom line is, again, I read it somewhere where it actually, Deadpool made much, much more money. I really got to kind of cut this short. So let me just pause for a minute. Okay, hey, I'm back again. I'm sorry for doing that. I really had to take a little bit of a breather. I normally don't do that. This might actually be good. I was pretty much finished all my stories. So that being said, I'm going to do a quick look because I got some other stories now. I'm kind of drained the vein kind of deal. Let's see what Deadpool did. Let's see if it comes up. Now it says million in U.S. The U.S. alone made $333.4 million. That's not global, though. So what did it do all together then? Domestic, it made close to $237 million. That's 48% of what it made as to date. Now, foreign, it made 256 average. So worldwide, it made $493 million on Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds has got to be the most happiest person in the world. I mean, I would be so happy knowing I made that. Because that movie, they didn't expect it to make 1/8 of that money. And it did. So I got some other interesting stuff. Somebody made kind of funny thing. I'm looking at it right now from iHorror. Recycle a light bulb, shred it up, some dyed cotton balls, and make it your own killer clown cocoon. And it does look really good. It looks really funny. So there's that. Again, since I have a drained vein, I can read some more stories. Another one was from the Daily Mail, and it's a woman who killed her boyfriend because he spent way too much time. This is no joke. She killed her boyfriend because he spent too much time on Facebook. Jealous hairdresser, 23, stabbed her boyfriend to death with a bread knife after losing her temper because he spent too much time on Facebook. Generally, that's the incident with guys doing that to women. You never hear that as much with women doing that to men, so that's why I find it funny. Anyway, it says Terry Marie Palmer, routinely annoyed by Damian Searson, Facebook user, sent a friend a message saying he was blanking her while on his phone. Moments later, she plunged a bread knife deep into his heart, killing him. So that's pretty sick. Now, I wonder if this is going to be a slap on the wrist. Hairdresser has been jailed for life with a minimum term of 12 years. So how do you get life of a minimum of 12 years? It makes no sense. She then rang 999 and claimed the unemployed 24-year-old had accidentally stabbed him while they were messing around. Yeah, she accidentally. This was in Hemsham. It was in Lancashire, so it is in England. That's why it would be the 999. But the thing I don't understand, again, I'm trying to just kind of bleed through this. Yeah, here it is again at the very end of the story. It says Palmer will serve a minimum of 12 years before she is eligible for parole. But she's going to serve life in imprisonment with 12 years. It's going to be 12 years. That's like first-degree murder. I mean, that's a open and shut case, and she's going to be up for parole. I don't care if it's 12 years. She murdered somebody, first-degree murder, and I guess, again, I mean, this is in England, I understand, but she's going to get 12 years. Technically, on a life imprisonment sentence, she's going to get parole in 12 years. It makes no sense. Interesting story from the Morning Call. Former Bethlehem residents Tony Yazbek sworn in Broadway's Fine in Netherlands. That is really cool that this person from somewhere around, my neck of the woods actually is now on Broadway. This is Tony Yazbek was sitting in the audience at the 2015 Tony Awards wearing his sailor suit. That's the character he plays on Broadway, preparing to sing I'm so happy to be me when producer Harvey Weinstein, who's a really big person, I've heard of him before, sitting in the row ahead of him, turned around and introduced himself. It was the last thing the former Bethlehem residents wanted at the moment. So that's really cool because, Bethlehem is like a pretty deprived area to live in Pennsylvania. This guy is now on Broadway, so that's really cool. I don't need to read anymore, I don't think. I had another story after 30 years in prison. There's this man. He killed his mother 2 days after being released for being in prison for 30 years. So what a way to go. He's out for 30 and he stabs his mother to death and he's going to go back in. After 30 years in prison, his latest crime was sent him back to prison. What he said in court that dropped jaws. Most of these people, when they get out of prison, they don't know how to survive, so they find a way to get back in. That's going to be my guess. Inside Edition, a New Jersey man had admitted to killing his mother only days after he completed a 30-year prison sentence for killing a neighbor he had said was like a father to him, officials said. This is Stephen Pratt, 47, so wow, he was really young. Pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the death of his 64-year-old mother, Gwendolyn Pratt, who was found dead in Atlantic City home in October 2014, officials said. Again, some of these people, once they get out of prison, you're like life in prison, you really don't know how to survive on the outside. You find a way to get back in. It's obviously one of those cases. I got a really hot picture of Angelina Jolie when she's younger, and it's one of these, what do you call it, files. She's holding a cat puppet, and it's just like one of these loop-de-loop things. I don't know what you call it, but she's really hot looking. Normally, I don't think of Angelina Jolie in that way. Trust me. I never thought she was that great looking. Anyway, I had a story also from westernsentinel.com. Never heard of it. I don't know where I even found it. Prostater arrested for wearing a hat that might offend the Muslims. It's a pig hat. One of those animal hats. I got one from the Miley Cyrus concert, not of a pig, but of a dog. It says the leader of an anti-Islamic of Europe movement, basically in the Netherlands, he was wearing this furry hat in the shape of a pig head. Dutch media have reported. So he got arrested for wearing it, though. It's pretty funny. Again, that was some source I've never even used before. I'm actually excited that 3 Charlie Brown or Peanuts movies coming out soon. I actually do like the Peanuts. I grew up with them, so that might even actually be the last of my stories. Yeah, and there was another source with the Adolf Hitler with the small penis, the micro penis. Daily Mail also, that was the third source I found that covered the same story I posted. I think it's kind of ridiculous. Did Hitler have a micro penis? Well, historians claim Nazi leader suffered from a rare deformity where the urethra opened on the underside of his manhood. This was from the Daily Mail now. You can get plenty of pictures if you want some pictures of Hitler, too, this way. Nazi leader is believed to have suffered from a condition called, again, I can't pronounce it. It was some weird name, hypopathetius or something. It means urethra emerges somewhere on the shaft or the base of the penis. Those affected always have smaller than average penises or a micropenis. Historians also backed up the claim that Hitler also only had one testicle. So that's pretty funny. I'm going to have to read that later on. I'm not going to read it on there because why should I make people suffer? I just love those stories. And once again, you will find a bunch of pictures. Oh, yeah, there was some really weird stories, too. I'll just look at these. I'll promise I'm going to cut it off. Opposing views about Alabama man father digs himself out of a grave after two men slit his throat and murder his son. On February 18th, police released a dash cam footage from a 2002 night when robbers cut an Alabama man's throat and fatally shot his 12-year-old son before burying him in a homemade grave. There's a video for all this, too, so it's pretty disturbing. Forrest Butch Boyer was buried next to his 12-year-old son, Brett, who had been shot and killed on the night of February 18th, 2002. Boyer managed to dig his way out of his own grave that night. So this was back in 2002, though. So it says, I got a man that's been cut to hell and said his son's been shot 3 times. The police officer said the newly released dash cam footage of the son is buried in the grave down here at Witchy, and he wants to go get him. He was buried and dug himself out. This is a bad one, the officer added. So that's pretty weird, and the story is actually really old, but it's finally getting press now for some reason. Something came up. But that's pretty weird, that story. But I was only getting opposing views. I'm honest. This just was put up like just today or yesterday. The story, it's actually pretty old. It's what, like, God, I got to do some math. I'm bad with math. So I'm going to clear this out. I got my calculator out. 2016 minus 20. Did I say 2012? Well, it's at least 4 years old, right? 4 years old, yeah. Well, I thought I said 2002, so that would be even more. I'm looking at the story again. You know what? I actually already shut it down because there's another story that was like really disturbing too. So I'll just look. Yeah, 2002. So it's actually 2016. I think I should be able to do this. Well, yeah, 2002. It's more like 14 years old. Whatever. I know. I don't mean to treat the story like that. Trust me. You can read that. It's on Opposing Views. There's another one. It says, family buries a 7-year-old girl alive. She survives and makes them regret it. Now, this one's another disturbing story because the girl was burned and then the parents bury her. They didn't want to keep her, so they try to burn her and bury her alive, and she ended up surviving. It sounds like something stolen straight from a horror movie, but it actually happened. A 7-year-old Indian girl was strangled and buried alive from her closest family members, authorities believe. Now, this one's back this year on the 22nd. The BBC reported that the young girl was told she was being taken to a fair by her uncle and aunt. They instead took her to a nearby cane field in India's Surprak district, whatever, located in the state of... It's in India. And they basically proceeded to strangle the girl and bury her alive. I thought they said they burned her, but I guess they tried to bury the girl alive. She survived. It's not known how long the girl was alive in her own grave, but she eventually scraped her way out of the earth and reached the surface where she could breathe again. This girl is so lucky. It's pretty intense. Yeah, they said they strangled the girl. I apologize. I thought they said something about burning her. No, they strangled the girl and then they buried her alive. And thank God she survived. She's not dead. The villagers who happened to be nearby heard the girl's cries as she was attempting to escape her death sentence. He followed the sound. Well, a neighbor person followed the sounds of her desperate escape until he came upon the struggling girl. He then called police, and who took the girl into a nearby hospital. She is now in good condition and expected to have a full recovery. So, yeah, that's really weird. It was actually, the story was from the BBC, but it got posted on the Opposing Views. When the girl became conscious, she began to remove the soil on top of her and clambered out of her shallow grave. Wow, what some weird people out there these kids have to deal with. There was one that was actually really funny I saw, and I just got to kind of read this. It was on Reagan Coalition. With Senator Bernie Sanders sweeping to victory in New Hampshire primary, it's safe to say socialism popularity is rising in the United States. So there's this goofy billboard, whatever they put on or posted on this, like, you know, what people don't realize they're voting for is this millennial group. And it says, a vote for Bernie Sanders and Democrats because they promised me free everything. It's this girl, like, shocked on this picture. And it says, I didn't realize that meant that they decide if I could go to college. They decide what colleges I could go to. They could choose my degree option. They could choose what kind of house I could have. They would have the choice if and what car I can drive. They would limit my food choices. They would decide what medical care I would receive, and they would tax my $55,000 salary at 90%. I think it's just funny. The half of my graduating class would either be chronically unemployed or work in jobs that do not require a college degree but still living at my standard of living. So this is what this thing says. How would you like this? How do you like socialism now? So I think it was really funny. It was on Reagan Coalition. I just couldn't help but read that one. I think I might just leave it go at that because there's always stories I can find, and they're always entertaining on many different levels. But I think at this point, hey, you know what? I've probably actually dug myself into my own shallow grave. So why take it any further? And now I got to kind of put this whole thing together because it's all over the place. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It is actually now after 8 o'clock, so I'm going to take a while to put this thing together. So thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed my show. And, I actually did do a show. It was a lot longer than I expected, so I apologize about that. But thanks for listening. And I'm not sure when I'll be back on again. But the main thing was, hey, I thought I might have seen today. I doubt it. But it certainly looked like the girl from Mallrats and other things. And Shannon Doherty. I wish it was. God, I would have pulled down my pants and jerked off. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, thanks a lot. Have a good evening, folks. Thanks.